Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the Locker Room Daily Report, or TLDR for short. We're going over the tech news and views. Unfortunately, Glendon will be unable to make it probably for the rest of the week and potentially into next week for other reasons. But he'll be back, though. No worries about that. Cena may be joining. I haven't pinged him, but it's always good to have him there. Sometimes it's good to bat ideas back and forth, and I really appreciate when I have a co-host for these kinds of things. For as much as I can do things alone, there are times where I really appreciate bouncing off of each other. We have a full slate of gamers tonight, which is amazing to see. I thought we could push 12, but it wouldn't let us. I thought the feature was available, but I guess not yet, or maybe not at our tier. Hopefully when we get upgraded to our next tier in April for StreamYard, who is a sponsor, as you see on the screen here. They're the ones who power the Locker Gnome array of streaming experiences, whether we're talking on my stream or on MakerDeck or beyond. So we really appreciate being able to use a platform to be able to make it possible to do things like this. Got a few things to cover, and since it's currently a full deck, I'm not going to pull up a second window. We've covered some of these, I believe, that were shared on our Discord server recently, so I'm probably going to be skipping over any if you see them there, just so you know. If you want to not miss anything, the first thing you got to do is pop over to the Discord server. It is open. It is public. This link was shared by Cubomatic, aka other files. And this is a bit of news. Future NASA moonwalkers to sport sleeker spacesuits. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was I thought I caught something earlier where it was related to someone involved with For All Mankind, but I could be wrong. But NASA awarded Axiom Space a $228.5 million contract to provide the outfits for the first moon landing in more than 50 years. I mean, they look nice. They don't look astronauty. I'll say that. Whatever an astronaut motif is, it doesn't look very astronauty. Astronauty, that's when they're bad. That's when astronauts are bad. They're astronauty. When spacefarer, ooh, hang on. That's a good dad joke. Give me a second. I gotta write this down for the dad jokes that I tell Jedi. What is it when spacefarers are bad? They're astronauty. Okay, I'll work on the question, but I think astronauty is a good response. That's a good dad joke. Astronauty. No, Mazzup, do not drop the stream. Absolutely do not. Come back. Mazzup, come back. Please. Please. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. If people want to see these things, they can easily pop over to, well, here's what I can do. Chris, what can you do? What I'm going to do for a Klondike bar is go over here and drag and drop links so that you can see them on my screen over here. So look, so there it is. She looks shocked over here if you can see her. So it's black, got these stripes. I mean, it looks like something Disney would have produced, honestly. I don't know. I guess I'm not as impressed as I could be, but what do I know? What do you call an astronaut? Or what do you call a NASA pilot who farts in space? Astronauty. Farting is not that, but okay. But I like that. NASA pilot in space. A poorly behaved. There we go. What do you call a poorly behaved NASA pilot in space? Astronauty. We figured it out. Nice collaboration on that dad joke there, people. You expect to see it popping up at some point in the near future. In coming to a TikTok near you. Although I didn't TikTok today. I did a couple of my Star Wars radar TikToks, but I haven't done a personal TikTok because I couldn't really find any like really big tech news that I thought was, worth doing a 15-second clip on. It may end up being one of these stories, though. This isn't a surprise, or shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Is Xi Jinping a good leader? China's AI chatbots won't tell you. Hello, why is anybody surprised over this? China's AI chatbots clam up when asked about Xi Jinping's leadership. Is this a surprise? Water, by the way, is also wet. In case you need that update. No shocker. And I do believe, I think it was Baidu also rolled out a chat bot today, and apparently it sucked. But, unless you live in China, it doesn't impact you. And I'm guessing if you're watching my stream, you don't live in China. Speaking of China, though, according to the Wall Street Journal, Apple suppliers Foxconn, one of Apple's supplier, is planning on relying less on China for revenue. This again shouldn't be a surprise. They as well as other companies have been trying to spread it out so that they're not as reliant upon China to deliver their products. So I think this ends up, in the long run, a good thing. In the short run, it remains to be seen. But in the long run, I think it provides far more stability from what might happen and making us less reliant on China. And when I say us, let's say the Western world, because China's got its own way of doing things. And I would go as far as to say that many people who don't live in China disagree with how China handles things, and specifically how they treat their citizens. I don't want to get political, but it is geopolitical. And when we talk about technology, we are talking about geopolitical events and decisions that have to be made and the impacts made thereabout. Here, Dragon Samurai posted this from Nintendo Life. Nintendo has now expanded. Oh, fine. I agree to your cookies. It's going to serve me cookies. Switch Online, Game Boy, SNES, and NES service with 4 more titles. Looks like we have Burger Time, Kirby's Dream Land 2, Side Pocket, and Xevious. Oh man, I might have played Xevious. Definitely played Burger Time. Not on the Game Boy, but on the Atari. And also in the arcade. I played both. You can play the Burger Time game on Antstream as well. And I currently have a subscription for that. Though I might not renew it in a year. For Antstream, being able to play retro games on the desktop. I've been playing Tetris, but pick it up, put it down throughout the day, throughout the past couple of days. But Antstream is another good, when I can think of like, oh yeah, I haven't played that arcade game. Let me see if it's on Antstream. It's just as easy to pop into that and play the game, for sure. So a couple new games for you if you are a member of their online service. And I was for a while, but not really. I didn't use it. I played like Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99. That was fun, but ultimately, like I couldn't network with friends or couldn't stream it in. I don't have a capture card here. It wasn't as interesting to pay the money for it. It might be, if and when I do get a capture card, in a system, it might be worth paying for the online service. I ended up getting it kind of comped for a year because I bought a special where last year they had a thing where you could buy one of their SD cards that would work in the Switch or micro SD card, and you would get the service for free. So that was nice. That was a benefit. So I ended up getting the card and then the service that I used maybe once. It goes to show you how much, we might play games around here or where our head's at, as far as a lot of that is concerned. Worth it if you spend a lot of time doing it though, for sure. If you haven't used Brave before, you may want to give it a shot. I used it exclusively for a while on my Mac. Ended up pulling back from Brave back to Chrome for certain performance issues that I ran into. And quite honestly, I found the Brave interface on the Mac desktop to be okay, not great. I found it just not. I'm a big interface a stickler for cleaner interfaces, and I just found Chrome to be more straightforward, despite the need to rely on third-party plugins versus having those features baked in. Now, this is a feature that is very interesting. Brave now has a VPN and a firewall built in the browser on Android, iOS, or the desktop. You can have a VPN in Brave built in and a firewall. So that is a great reason to recommend it. I'm not using it on Android. I used to, but I stopped using it as soon as I realized that Samsung Internet Browser scrolled better. The scroll performance on Samsung Internet Browser tops them all easily. Number one. And so I couldn't ignore that. Could not. It was so much snappier. And that drove my decision to start using Samsung Internet Browser over all other browsers, including that. And now with Google One, remember, you also have a VPN. So if you're paying for Google One, you can and should use that, when necessary, especially when you connect to public Wi-Fi, especially. So anyway, so Brave now has that baked in right there. You toggle a switch. That's it. Right from your web browser on desktop and mobile. Easy to do. Let me pull up the video here. Public Wi-Fi, traveling, don't trust your home ISP. Time to protect your data. So, sorry, let me move in over here. There's the video. I'm going to put my face in there, otherwise center stage. Safeguards every app, it says, on your entire device, no matter where you are. Okay. I thought it was just the browser. Encrypt everything you want to do online. Really? Okay, that's fascinating. That's absolutely fascinating. Interesting. So there you go. So now you can use Google One, a VPN if you're paying for Google One, or Brave on the desktop. So now I don't think you have too many excuses as to why you might not be using a VPN. So it says protect all your devices with one subscription, but it doesn't list any prices. So this is what I'm kind of thrown off. Hang on. Can I buy Brave VPN? Here we go. $9.99 a month. Okay, so they buried the lead. It's $9.99 a month. Might be worth it. It depends on what you're paying for your VPN. It is convenient. And if you use Brave, it makes sense. But at that point, if you're paying Google $10 a month, you get their VPN. So why? I mean, unless you don't trust Google's VPN, it's the big question. Oh, you got your Jeff says he's got the Mando related Funko. 9 ones on order, 3 arrived today. Oh, awesome! Glad you could use that link. We got more deals posted there on Discord, and a few more. As I'm finding them when they come in, and Glendon has been sharing them as well. Although, like I said, he may be incommunicado for the next few days. Probably the biggest news today, AI, because the day ends in a Y. AI is now rolling out with Microsoft's 365, going with the brand Copilot. So they've integrated AI features within Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Teams. And each one of those tools, extends these utilities in a different way. Now, whether if it's an Outlook, being able to help write emails, Word, fleshing out documents, it's all powered by ChatGPT. In case you were wondering, I mean that's the interesting thing about what Microsoft is doing, because ChatGPT has the brand. In fact, Microsoft's Bing has been using ChatGPT 4.0, so it's already worked. They've already rolled that out. So with Copilot in Word, you can summarize documents and suggest edits as you write. The tool also has the ability to generate a draft of a document based on information from an organization. Word supports picking between tones, such as professional or casual, can help improve documents in other ways. So depending on what you're writing, it can help. So I think it's nice to be able to have that there. Excel allows you to more easily ask questions in natural language, and then it would suggest formulas to use. Copilot in Excel can find correlations in data, generate models based on questions, and find trends. It can also create visual aids, such as charts. With Copilot and PowerPoint, you have the tool to it'll gather information from a Word document to create slides, including speaker notes and sources. It can also compress pre-existing presentation to be much shorter with the tool. So all these tools are really meant to refine what it is that you're doing. So if you live in Microsoft Office, and if you work for an organization, this is a huge win. Huge win. Hugo notes they went interesting. They went with Copilot branding, which is what GitHub named theirs. Well, GitHub is Microsoft, so it stands to reason that Copilot, and I feel that's fair to call it that. It's if only because you are driving, not it. It is there to help, but it is not there to do the job for you. I'm not sure when these features are specifically rolling out, though. There's also Copilot in Teams for whatever it's worth. Let's see here. I was seeing if I could find a way to trigger it in. There we go. Open in Word. Online. I don't install anything. I do everything online if I can. Catch up. No, I don't see any features built in with Copilot yet. There's also business chat experience that extends across different apps and data sources. It uses Microsoft Graph and AI to gather information from documents. Copilot will integrate with Microsoft Viva in several areas, including Viva Engage. But I'm not sure about any specific rollout here. Yeah, let's see here. Let's look at the blog. Oh, I wonder if I'm getting blocked because of my ad blocker. It didn't like that link. So I'm just going to assume the link wasn't worth looking at. That's always my assumption. Oh, I can't get to the link. It must not be worth looking at. This is big news, hits a little closer to home. We're getting a new CEO for Twitch. Emmett Shear stepping aside and stepping up in his place. We've got Dan Clancy coming in as CEO, who had been leading product or had been a part of product. And I've always believed that some of the best CEOs for these kinds of companies are product oriented. Will Twitch change dramatically? I don't think it'll be dramatic. Will it change? Yeah. I mean, you've got a new leader at the helm, and he's certainly no stranger to, being forthcoming with information. Having recently streamed online to be transparent about changes they were making with creators last year and payouts. So I appreciate that. I appreciate having a transparent CEO, basically leading the charge. Could Twitch get worse? I don't think it could. I think it only stands to get better, again, with a product CEO at the helm. So yeah, that's after 16 years. So it kind of makes you wonder, getting new blood, fresh blood in here for Twitch, which is where we're streaming this live, what is going to change and how is it going to change and how fast is it going to change? Who is going to be empowered? Getting a new CEO could be a really good thing in this case. A really good thing. Not that Twitch was hurting, but, there's some areas that Twitch just feels like it fell behind on. And I know some people, they come to Twitch and they're really confused because they're used to YouTube, which, quite honestly is just a different experience, for better or for worse. So hopefully, this is going to usher in a new era of even more updates coming down the pike for viewers and streamers alike. Sign me up. Twitch was not owned by Yahoo. Twitch was always independent, and then it was acquired by Amazon eons ago. All right. This is a good one. And thank you, I'm sorry, is Yasir here? I don't know if he's here, but this is a great link. The FCC is finally requiring wireless companies to block scam text messages. Alleluia. Oh my God. Thank you. It's about time. It's about time. My God. The agency will be taking public comments on future ideas to make providers block scam texts. Of course, all mobile phone providers can do their part by not interacting. Mobile phone owners, can do their part by not interacting or clicking on links from suspicious texts. They should also delete those texts. They can also forward any suspicious texts to SPAM 7726. Wow. The report and order adopted. It was adopted today. Oh, that is fantastic. Oh my God, it's about damn time. Oh God, this is the best news of the day. I mean, you get spam. It's just annoying, right? I mean, especially when it seems kind of oddly timed. Like with this. Yes, I was just ordering something on Amazon, and this is a text that came in from Amazon. I mean, they're counting on that. You got to be careful. Something texts me, I don't click links, generally speaking, because you never know. So that's amazing news. YouTube's getting a price hike to $72.99 a month, and I tell you, I'm using YouTube TV less and less and less and less and less. I'm not sure about Diana and Jedi and their habits, but I'm just not finding any shows on there that I'm recording or watching on a regular basis that I'm not already getting through another streaming service. I mean, there are reruns and there's network TV, but honestly, I don't watch any network television. I don't watch any sports. I honestly, like, there's just nothing. There's really nothing there, to the point where I've got to find out if they're watching it, but we may drop it because there's no point in holding on to it for $72.99 and no one's using it, because we're using the streaming services. So we can save a ton of money because we don't watch sports. And we didn't upgrade to the 4K plus add-on. That would have been, worthless to us. But yeah, I mean, I look at I rarely open it up, and I only do it to check if like something new was being recorded. But as I said, we're already paying other services to get this stuff, so they just keep ratcheting up the price, and I'm just like, done. Oh, Mike said he canceled his today because of that. Doesn't surprise me. Hugo asks, do they have an implementation window? Can they do it starting now? They probably have an implementation window. I didn't catch it in the article, though. It didn't, I believe, mention it. Yep. Says Moss Up, drop my satellite TV package and some streaming services. So yeah, I'm inclined to keep the streaming services, but like YouTube TV, I don't think is worth, for even if one person's watching it, it's not worth $75. That's what I'm saying. It's not worth $75 a month. It isn't, and that's asinine. Yeah, it's just so. $72.99 for new subscribers starting today. Existing members will see the new price Tuesday, April 18th. So there's no reason to stick with it. None. I started with it when it was like super affordable. Super affordable. I couldn't even tell you what it was. It was just affordable. And then it went up to 50, 60, I'm just like, forget this, dude. You've hit I'm at a tipping point. Yeah, if I wanted cable, I just get cable. Well, I like the fact that YouTube TV it's there and it works and it's integrated, but I don't like that it's just so damn expensive, especially if no one's using it. Rarely, if I don't need I mean, like tonight, I've got to watch The Bad Batch. I did watch Mandalorian. I need to watch The Bad Batch, and then I caught up on You. I'll continue with Servant. Ted Lasso also started. So I've got, inevitably, just about every night, I have something to watch. Inevitably. Yeah, that's right. Pluto TV and Tubi are also good, especially for free options. Especially. Yeah, that was, so that has me wondering whether or not we're going to nuke it. Granted, we have a Google TV and it's integrated there, but again, if you're not going to watch it, what's the point of paying for it? You can save $1,000 a year, basically. $1,000 is nothing to sneeze at. You can spend that on something else. Amazon is going to discontinue newspaper and magazine subscriptions in September. Early on, I thought it was kind of neat. Oh, you can subscribe to a magazine on a tablet, and then I never did. Honestly, we don't really get magazine subscriptions. I had a Mad Magazine subscription for a bit, and then I had a Star Wars Insider subscription, and I ultimately let them lapse. I don't know. There's amazing material out there, certainly, but this just does not surprise me that they're nuking it at all from the Kindle. It's at that point where I'd be concerned if I was in print, as in a print publication. You've got some big titles out there, right? Known name brands and known quantities. But one thing's for sure, there's not a lack of content to be digested. And in many cases, some of those articles you might get in a magazine have been read online already. So what's the point? Seriously, what's the point? Like, unless it comes with a free, thing. Like in the UK, you can get a Lego magazine that comes with a minifigure. I'd buy that. I'd subscribe to that. I would. Absolutely. Every month. Absolutely. No doubt. No question. But, on its own, like, I can click a link, and the link didn't cost me anything. Yeah, so it does not surprise me that things have come to this. Some magazines and newspapers will decide if it's not worth including their content in Amazon's Unlimited program. So this is in Unlimited, some people love. This is one thing that I wish was a part of their like the Kindle Unlimited was a part of the Amazon subscription, because then it'd be worth it. But here, no, not so much. Even $10 a month, there's just not enough that we read around here. Not like that. There's a new metric coming to Twitter, if you missed this, at least on iOS for now. There's a new metric, not that we needed one, to show how many times a tweet has been bookmarked. I guess that's kind of interesting. They have that feature on TikTok. It's kind of interesting to let people know, oh, okay, well, then I guess that was useful, or that was interesting enough that they wanted to come back to it. I wish that Twitter would focus more on engagement, not necessarily the analytics around engagement that isn't happening. So it's another metric. Honestly, a lot of those metrics are kind of worthless, and I feel do more to hurt everybody and the perceived value of a tweet than help. Because you're like, oh, wow, okay. And it's kind of funny how, like, someone posts something and you think, oh, this has got to get great engagement. And then it's like 13 people see it. That's not good. That's not a solid engagement. And the fact that they've made it, so public is actually, I feel, backfiring. And so I feel like just continuing to go down this route is just the wrong way to go. Musk likes stats. Mastodon people care less. Yeah, I watch. I'm like, okay, is this something that people like? What do they like? What do they not like? And generally speaking, when I share something, I know pretty quickly whether or not it resonates, right? So there are some links that I'd probably be sharing there on Mastodon. Like, for example, what might work well? Like the Metallica they sold so much vinyl, they bought their own factory. That would be interesting to share. Or Twitch gets a new CEO, might be interesting to share. The FCC news, YouTube TV getting a price hike. There's a lot of good news that I feel would be good to share. So that's about it. The Cubomatic also has posted some other links that you might find interesting. I'm not sure. I want to dive into them, at least in context to TLDR. Locker Gnome does not need a magazine. No. We barely have a Twitter account again. I don't need more. Last thing I need is more to manage. You know what you should do? Like, no, I shouldn't. I'm not shy of ideas. I'm shy of executions. There's a big difference between both of them. Yep, Locker Gnome has a Substack. It's I guess it's the Chris Pirillo email newsletter, the legacy email newsletter at least. I may have stumped another one, but that's the one that we've done. GnomeDex is dead. I don't think, there are some people who might remember the brand, but I don't think I don't think it would work again. I've toyed around with it because we had GnomeDex back in the day. If GnomeDex were to become a thing again, I would want to focus it on a summit between tech content creators and marketers or brands, and make it that. So that's my feeling. If GnomeDex or some kind of other event, whether it was GnomeDex or something else, my feeling is that would be the way to bring it up. Because Locker Gnome, right? GnomeDex. If we were to do it, that's a big if. So I'm not anywhere near. Although I will say I have been toying with the idea of doing a tech event like that. Maybe not called GnomeDex. It may be called something else. But the idea would be that it would specifically be to enable the to be able to enable the ecosystem in a better way. And that's what my gut tells me. Not a big, huge event, right? I mean, huge, but potential, but a summit where it's about maximizing those relationships and making it a point to make those relationships. Smaller events tend to have a deeper impact. So that's what my gut tells me. Because out of that, I want to be able to say, well, Locker Gnome we do this on Twitch, and then we have MakerDeck, and then I'm trying to do things on YouTube again. For YouTube though, and I've got a few. I may end up. This may be my task for tomorrow. For YouTube, doing 2-minute video, like a minute and a half. It seems that that's the average view time for the videos that I'm posting right now, is about a minute and a half. So I'm like, all right, so this next week, my next experiment for the next 5 videos is going to be to try to shoot 90-second videos about 3 things or one thing or another. And then those will be going on to YouTube as the talking points, the tech talking point for the day. So, that could be, something that a sponsor might buy into. But if nothing else, if all I can do is just basically facilitate the introductions, then I feel I've done my job as a facilitator. Happy to do it. So yeah, anyway, so that's been on my mind. But anyway, thank you again for tuning in. I did remember to record tonight, so I won't have this awkward extraction like I did last night, then ultimately today when I downloaded a 40-hour archive to carve out an hour. But I'm archiving. Give me credit. I am archiving on YouTube. I've got yesterday's. It hasn't been posted yet, but it will, and they may be back to back. But I'm not sure how many people currently watch the archive. It's the closest thing we currently have to a podcast. Thank you everybody for tuning in, participating live. If you did, it's always appreciated, especially in the morning. Our mornings are slower now. Evenings it tends to pick up, which is great to see. It's good to see familiar faces. It's kind of like we've got a little cheers thing going on, where everybody knows your name, and that's how MakerDeck has been described too. But as I've been saying for the longest time, someone had made the correlation of Twitch being like a pub crawl, which doesn't sound to be that far off. So thank you for spending time in this virtual pub. I do appreciate it. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. We are typically talking tech 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. May the force be with you always. Will you later.